Hi everybody, this is Chris from Steamway Restoration, wishing you a happy Monday as we always do. It's been a pretty wet spring so far, quite a bit of rain last week, and I know there's some more rain in the forecast for this week. Hopefully it will dry up for a good Memorial Day weekend. Everyone can enjoy the activities they have planned for that. Tornadoes and severe weather is always on our mind. We've been very fortunate this year that we have not had a lot of severe weather, a lot of tornadic activity. However, of course, that is on our mind. Yesterday was the 5th year anniversary of the terrible EF5 tornado that hit Joplin back in 2011. If you're like me and you've lived in this area all your life, many times the watches, the warnings, you didn't pay a lot of attention to them. That storm in particular changed the way that we looked at those warnings, and it also gave us incentive to put some plans in place. That way we can ensure our safety and the safety of our loved ones. We all know the basics. You want to take shelter in a basement if possible, a storm shelter if possible. If those are not options for you, you want to be in the lowest part of your home, the lowest level, interior, away from windows, away from exterior walls. Is going to be the safest place where you can be. Of course, you want to have some supplies with you if possible, some blankets, some water, flashlights, maybe a hand crank radio if possible to kind of keep in touch with what's going on outside. We all have what I call our best case scenario plans in place, and I say that and you probably think there's no best case scenario when it comes to a tornado, and I absolutely agree. But if a tornado was to strike your neighborhood and your home, best case scenario is you are at home, your plan is in place, your family is all together and accounted for, and you can go to that spot wherever it is and ride the storm out. Unfortunately, tornadoes don't wait for it to be a convenient time for us. The Joplin tornado 5 years ago struck in the late afternoon. People were coming out of graduation ceremonies. People were doing their weekly shopping. They were running errands. They were doing the normal things that people do on weekends, and many of them were separated from their families just in the day-to-day life activities that they were doing. What really personally struck me following the tornado was the chaos and the panic and the confusion when people were trying to find their friends and their loved ones. You have to remember that cell phone service was really not available for a lot of people. Voice service was terrible, and text messaging was sketchy at best. So we want to talk about a couple things that you might be able to implement now before a storm ever happens. That way you have a plan in place to find your loved ones if for some reason a storm was to strike while you were separated. The first thing you really need to do is have a rendezvous point, a spot that everyone in the family agrees that if a tornado or a severe storm was to happen, they would all meet at a certain point. That way you can know everyone was safe and healthy. Your first inclination would be your home. Everybody meets back at the house. You might have a backup plan in place if the home is not able to be gathered at. If the neighborhood is damaged badly enough where people cannot come into the neighborhood, then you need to have a backup rendezvous point. But that should help alleviate a little bit of confusion somewhat. Another suggestion that I have read is to have a out-of-town or out-of-state friend or relative coordinate the effort. We were able to use cell phones a little bit, but you weren't really sure what was going out and what was coming in. You could send a text message, you don't know if the other person received it, and vice versa. If you have someone coordinating this effort that is out of the area, their service has not been affected, then you have a much better chance of them collecting this data, putting it all together, and kind of coordinating the effort to make sure that everybody is okay. I have an aunt who lives in Colorado. She does a fantastic job of keeping tabs on us back here in southeast Kansas and southwest Missouri. We need to implore her with this job, so we all know to call Aunt Patty if anything was to happen. So Aunt Patty, I know you're a big fan. I know you watch even out in Colorado, so that's your new job. Thank you. We appreciate that. Last thing I want to talk about a little bit is businesses out there. Just make sure you have a plan for your employees and for any customers that may be in your facility at any point when a storm was to strike. Certainly you would not want to have that burden upon yourself that you do not have a plan in place for people to take shelter and try to be as safe as possible during something that unfortunate. We have unrolled a program here at Steamway in the last week or so called the Emergency Response Protocol Program. Basically what we're doing is we're going out into the community and we are partnering with the local businesses and helping them put a disaster emergency plan in place. If that's something that you'd like to talk to us about, please give me a call. You can call me personally, 620-330-2819, or you can call 1-800-750-4832.